Good morning. It's a Saturday, which is my favorite. Thank you, Jesus, for another day. Let's get into the video. Started making some trim for this next kitchen remodel we're doing. Take you over here to this sheet. This one is a mix of refacing and then custom cabinets. I measured for it maybe last week, but essentially the lowers are a reface with new drawer boxes, new doors, everything soft close, new drawer fronts, new handles. And then we're doing like a conversion. Instead of 2 boxes with drawer fronts and 2 doors, it's going to be 3 big drawer boxes and doors. Spray everything, install everything, and the uppers are all brand new cabinets. So we're going to pull all the old cabinets down, build new custom cabinets, put those new cabinets up, put a little crown, the crown trim that we make with the new doors, soft close, shelves that are super thick, everything like that. So we've done projects like this before. A little bit easier in some aspects, a little bit harder in some aspects. A little bit, you just have to think through it a little bit differently. So right now, I'm gonna look through this client sheet, which lists all the trim I need to make, complete that, and then Carl's gonna come later, start cutting out the cabinets on the CNC over there. And then I'll start building the face frames, cutting out drawer boxes. Carl's already started building the doors. So there's a whole bunch of stuff we're gonna be doing today, tomorrow, which is Sunday, and then Monday. So that way, hopefully we can install this stuff on Tuesday, spray it Wednesday, install it Thursday. I don't know if that will happen, but we'll see. I'm gonna get to sanding this trim and keep making more. I have a bunch of the crown trim ready to be sanded down in the vertical belt sander. What I'm starting to do over here on these doors, these are for somebody that I know. They've been patiently waiting. I need to get them done here. Getting this trim inset into the door is the last thing before they can just get sprayed and sent out over to their house. I have this nice router profile, and all we're doing is we're matching the doors that are in their kitchen right now. This is not a style we typically make. I went to one of our millwork places. I think I said this in another video, and they didn't want to find this trim for us because it's a small job and they didn't want to deal with it, which I get, but I also don't get. So that being said, this material is from some crown, and all I'm doing, it's actually from this crown right here. I'm cutting off this profile, cutting it down a little bit, and it actually kind of matches. I don't know if you can see that black door way under there. It matches their other door pretty darn decently close. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's not touching their other cabinets. But I still want it really good, obviously. And this is going to be about as close as it's going to get. These cabinets are probably 15, 20 years old. So to be able to match that, it's not something that's going to be, or hasn't been, easy or even doable, quite honestly. Now I just need to essentially figure out how I'm going to cut this. And get this all cut, pin nailed, glued on. And then that way we can start spraying these doors and we can get them sent out. So I'm going to work on this for a while, kind of see where it leads me. This is the door that I'm trying to match. And our rails and stiles are wider, but that's okay. We have the same router profile. The trim match is really close. Pin nailed it in. The panel still is able to move a little bit if the humidity gets higher or the heat or cold or whatnot, so it doesn't bust the door apart. I just need to putty my pin nails, bore this door. This door will be done. And way over there's 3 more doors I need to do. Same thing to this. And then these doors can get sprayed. So that's something off of the list. I pretty much have this client, or the client that I'm working on right over here, their sheet done. I just need to cut a couple boards for a door to drawer front conversion, sand this trim down, and then their sheet full of trim will be completed. And then I'll probably start working on face frames for them. So it was a busy week. I'm super tired, but trying to get some stuff done today here, and then tomorrow, and then Monday's a holiday, but definitely going to be working. So let's keep going on these doors. Trim on my doors here are now complete. Actually turned out really good. Now I'm just going to sand off the putty, and then I'm going to bore these doors over there with our Bloom door hinge machine. Once that is done, these will be ready for spray. So that's amazing. The drawer fronts are slabs. There's 4 doors and 2 drawer fronts. So for the drawer fronts, I didn't have to worry about the trim. But I did have to figure out the routering situation, which I did. So now I'm just going to sand these lightly and then get them bored. But before I bore those doors, I'm going to pick up my area. Can't stand it. Things are too messy. So get rid of this material. It's scrap material now. And then go sand and bore. The struggle is real. I have those 2 doors bored. One thing I overlooked, I haven't done this router profile before, is my fence isn't tall enough back there to reach above this router profile. And so I haven't made a mistake yet, thankfully. Thank you, Jesus. But I'm having to eyeball, essentially, where the door remains straight onto the fence or parallel to the fence. Because as you can tell here, you don't have much tolerance right here. It's a fine line between perfect and down bad. So, that being said, what I'm doing is I'm clamping my door here. Then I'm spotting down the line here to make sure that I'm parallel. And it's working. But I figured putting the trim on the front was going to be the hardest, most stressful part of these doors. Nah. It's the boring. Boring is usually decently simple. But that's fine. These doors are turning out great. I got these sanded down, so just need to bore this door. And then I'm going to go over there, sand down that trim and that vertical belt sander, that crown trim. And then I'm going to cut some material for our door to drawer front conversion. Again, it's 2 drawer boxes right now with 2 doors. It's going to be 3 long drawer boxes with 3 long fronts. So we have to rip out the cross braces and put in our own cross braces to the correct heights that will match the rest of their kitchen. And then once that's done, this will be done. These will be ready for spray. That client sheet will be ready with all the trim and everything. And I think I'm going to start, I could start shelves, I could start face frames, I could finish doors, or I could start drawer boxes. But I think I'm going to build the face frames, so that way when Carl is done cutting the cabinets later today, they will be ready to go on. Because then once that's completed, I can do the drawer boxes, shelves, and then doors. So let's bore this door, start cutting some face frames. I'm now going to start sanding down our trim. Carl's in here though. He has a CNC up and running. That's all the material. 1/2 inch UV double side cabinet material, plywood, super stable, super awesome product. He has a forklift moving the product. So now I'm going to start sanding this trim down. Once this is done, again, I need to make some material for our door to drawer front conversions. There's Remington. She doesn't really like the forklift that much. But yeah, I need to sand this down, do that, and then I'll start building face frames. All the material for this project, since it's painted, is going to be beech. Super tight grain. Can't see through the spray. This is just material that I've used from other jobs, but I want to sand it down and just make sure it's all the exact same. I don't want it off a 32nd or a 64th of an inch. I want to make sure it's all the exact same, so when it goes around the top of the cabinets, it's perfect. So let's get to sanding that. I just got all of our trim sanded down. I'm gonna get me a Sharpie marker so I can mark, holy smokes, mark the back of them. So we don't need to sand them. And I'm pretty sure we're going to attempt to not spray everything, well, not spray the cabinets here. Since we're spraying the lowers on site, since we're not doing new cabinets, we're refacing, we may try to install all the new uppers with the new trim and then spray everything on site. The doors, the boxes, anything that likes to take abuse will get sent through the oven. The frames, since I do a custom overlay, 90% of the frames are covered by the doors. So, just trying to mark this trim as I'm videoing. That stuff, the doors are what take the abuse. Same with the drawer boxes, same with the shelves, same with that sort of stuff. So all of that will get sent through the oven to help cure out. Where the face frames, it's very rare that those ever take abuse because they're covered. So we may try to, this is how we used to do it before we dadoed all of our face frames. We used to just simply brad nail the face frames on to the cabinet shells. We would go install and then spray on site. Well, since we changed to dadoing and gluing and screwing, you're able to spray everything independently and then put it all together like a puzzle. A lot of shops don't do that. They just brad nail the face frames on. They let a painter or, I don't know, somebody else spray everything. We don't do that. We spray everything ourselves. We measure everything ourselves. We build everything ourselves. We install everything ourselves. Because just like I was looking for that trim, they didn't want to deal with it. So I dealt with it and got it done. Keep our timeline going. We can make sure our products look the way we want them to look. That being said, now I'm going to palm sand this crown trim quickly, and then I'm going to cut out the rails for our conversion, sand those down vertical belt sander, sand those down palm sander, and then start making face frames. I'm just using some 220 grit Diablo sandpaper on our DeWalt palm sander and just finishing it off, making sure it's perfect before I wrap these up and move on to the next thing. I have my boards cut for our door to drawer front conversion. I have them sanded. Last step I need to do here is get them cragged with this Kreg machine. It's set up for 3/4 inch material right now because this is 3/4 inch material. Perfect right there. That's how I want it to look. Need to Kreg this other side now. Call it pocket screws. I call them Kregs. That's who we use. They're from the same town, headquartered the same town that we're in. Let's get another one done here. Then after this one, I have 2 more boards to do. Once that's completed, I know I said I was going to do face frames next. I think I'm going to instead cut the skin side panels, 1/4 inch MDF, it's sitting right there. I'll lightly sand those, and then I'll start cutting out face frames. I don't know if I'll get them put together, sanded today, but I will do that tomorrow. Monday's a holiday, so I'll be working here as well. But we want to get things done because on Tuesday we want to install everything. So that means trim and the sheet, everything like that need to be done, which this is the last step for that. Cabinet shells, which Carl's cutting out, need to be put together, so I need to do that. And then the face frames need to be cut out, put together, so I need to do that. Then they need to be put onto the cabinet shells, which I need to do that. I need to cut out all the shelving. And then what else? Oh, and then I need to cut the skins out and put those on. So there's not that many cabinets. There's only 9 uppers, so I can get it done here for sure. The drawer boxes, and then I need to measure for those doors, so I'll measure for those doors so we can get those built. Some of the doors are already built over there, but The drawer boxes can wait until maybe I can build those Tuesday or Wednesday. They won't get installed until Thursday probably, because they're going into the existing lower cabinets. And then where did I put my marker? I don't know where I put my marker, but essentially, oh, it's over here. Gonna just label these. I think I'm going to install. I may be measuring doors, but that way the guys know door to drawer conversion. They know what trim is for what. Over here we have our screen molding. We have some filler material if need be. We have our crown trim. We have our long boards to mount our pantry pull-out boxes. And we have the door to drawer conversion. Let me just double check my measurement. I already did, but want to make sure. 42, right on the head. Love that, by 1.5 inches. Come over here. We have the doors, yes, boxes and pullouts, 2 long boards, yep, taken care of. That. Handles we'll figure out here a little later. That's done. That taping won't be terrible, blah, blah, blah. That's done. Yep, cabinets, so I'll bring that. That's the gaps, okay. Trims, so we got the crown. We have the long boards for the pantry up there. We have the screen molding. We have some fillers. 42 by 1.5 inches. Got that. That, okay. That sheet is now completed. I think out of all of the things, it's always one of my least favorite things to do. I don't know why, but it takes a lot of time. So, it's all good though. It needed to get done, and it did get done. Now I'll figure out, I think I have already done the math for our skins. These are for our cabinets, these are for our face frames. These right here are for our drawer boxes, and these are for our skins. What I do when I measure is I build this sheet, and then I build the face frames, the drawer boxes, the skins, the doors, everything off of that master sheet. Take pictures of everything and upload it into our system, so in case I lose that sheet, or it blows away, or it walks away, I'm not screwed. Luckily, these are MDF, so I don't have to worry about the grain. If they are not MDF, you have to worry about the grain. The grain needs to go up and down. MDF, there's no grain, don't have to worry about it. So that's nice, because a piece of our material is 4 foot wide by 8 long. These are going to be 41 7/8, so I can cross cut these. If you're doing oak, or even maple sometimes, or white oak or cherry or whatever, if there's any type of grain and orientation has to go, there's always going to be more waste, because you have to cut it a certain way. You can't maximize. You have to cut it a certain way to make sure the grain is a certain way and the correct way. So I don't have to worry about that on MDF. I can just cross cut. We'll be golden. This is what I was trying to explain when I meant you have to cut in a certain orientation when you have plywood that's grain. The grain on these boards runs this way, the long way. Well, if these were grain, which are not because it's MDF, they're oak or cherry or hickory or whatever, I would have to cut strips like this. And I could only get 2 strips out of it, out of the height, and I'd be left with, you know, about this much waste. Or on this MDF, since I don't have to worry about that grain, these are 41 7/8. The board is 48 wide. I can cross cut it and only lose, you know, 6 inches of waste. Where if it's an oak or a cherry plywood or a hickory, you just have to take into account that extra waste you're gonna have with your price. This is gonna be more expensive. The product itself is already more expensive than the MDF. And you just have to always be thinking, try to maximize it, but the grain is more important than maximizing, because the grain has to go a certain way. Where on this MDF, I can maximize, think about it, and be like, this is the way it needs to be to maximize the amount of product we can get out of each board and not have a bunch of waste. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 7. now what I'm going to hopefully do, I don't know if, nope. There's one extra skin it's just weird, so I don't know if I'll be able to get that out of this sheet. Double check this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I do need 7. The other one is 23 1/4. Nope. That's okay though. That is A-okay. Now I just have to cut these down to height, and then what I'll do is I'll just gently palm sand them with some 220. Knock down any fibers, make sure there's no scratches, label them on the back by going through my cabinet sheet that's over there, so I know which cabinet they go with, even though they're all the same sizes. We still do that because a lot of times cabinets are all different sizes, and you just want to be able to quickly know where these go when it's time to put them on. So I'm going to cut these down to the height, cut one more skin, go grab more material, and then I'll slightly sand them, label them, start cutting face frames. Just sanded down my last skin, side panel, 1/4 inch MDF, labeled. Setting it over here with the rest of them, all double checked off of the master sheet. I think I'm going to end the video here. I got to shut the CNC off. It's cutting its last piece. And then I need to start cutting out face frames. So that way tomorrow I can hopefully build the face frames, sand the face frames, double check the face frames, dado the face frames, put the cabinet shelves together that the CNC is cutting, and then put the face frames onto those. So that way then Monday, put the skins on, measure for doors, cut the shelves, load the vans, get ready for Tuesday where we'll hopefully install everything, maybe build some drawer boxes, who knows what else we'll get into. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, give us a like, a subscribe, check out our website. We do resurfacing, which is existing doors, spray everything, tape everything, prime everything. Refacing with brand new doors, brand new drawer boxes, soft close, tape, prime, spray everything. And brand new cabinets where we measure, build, spray, install everything in the shop, and then go to the house and finish installing all the cabinets into the house. So again, not that much video, but it was a crazy day here building, crazy day tomorrow, crazy day Monday. We'll see you then. Adios.